Welcome to the Wilmington Chamber Podcast. I'm Natalie English, President and CEO. The Wilmington Chamber's vision is to promote prosperity in our community by cultivating business growth. Our ideas and our belief is that if we help grow business, they will create more jobs, and we have the opportunity to get more people into better jobs and out of poverty. And we are passionate about what we do. Today, I get to talk again with Laura Brogdon Primavera from the Chamber team, our Director of Leadership Programs and Initiatives. And we've got joining us today a long time ago Leadership Wilmington graduate. Frankie Roberts is joining us today. And we'll probably talk a little bit about what Frankie does during the day, but we'll also have him share with us some of his Leadership Wilmington memories, experiences, et cetera, et cetera. But again, so Frankie, what we do for this podcast is to try to share with not only our members, but others who might find their way onto our podcast channel what the Chamber's about. And as you know, for several decades, this Chamber has been about building leadership skills in our community. And I know that you were in an early class of Leadership Wilmington, and so we'd love to hear just a few comments about what that experience means to you today.
Okay, I'm almost embarrassed being a native Wilmintonian and going through Leadership Wilmington. I believe it was 2008. I was exposed to things that I didn't know existed, so that was kind of embarrassing. And I'm a native, so I was supposed to know some of the things that the Chamber exposed me to. So I was saying, man, it was great. It was, if I had to do it over again, I would do it several more times. If nothing else, with some of the relationships that I built during that time. In fact, I met with a fellow class member last Friday that is a bank president locally, and we talked about 2008 because that's where we met.
Exactly.
And so, man, it was just good catching up. But also, when we wrap up Leadership Wilmington and we do work on Wilmington, the leadership skills that I gathered from that, putting together such a huge event that was about 4,000 volunteers and that supported, I don't know how many agencies, but even our agency was one of those agencies. It was phenomenal. It helped me understand how to organize that level and that size of an event, engaging the team that I was participating with.
Right.
But then to a larger degree, how to motivate a larger community of volunteers that benefits me even today in the work that we do at our nonprofit organization.
I will bet that it does. So share a little bit, Frankie. Some of our viewers may not know anything about your organization, and like you, might be embarrassed that they don't. Although I don't think any of us should be embarrassed. You know, the thing that leadership programs in communities do is allow us, those of us who drive the same route to and from work every day and go to the same church on Sunday, we only see so much of our world, right?
Yes.
And so that's one of the things I love about leadership programs is it takes you outside your box and makes you see the things you need to see to be a more well-rounded participant in society.
Yes.
So I think our viewers would love to hear more about who Frankie is and what you do, and that organization is just phenomenal.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I appreciate the rumor. So we're a 22-year-old organization. It is called Leading into New Communities Incorporated. We call it LINC for short. And we provide support and shelter for people who've been formerly incarcerated. So we like to always kind of say we provide support for a person to turn a setback into a comeback.
That's nice.
And we do that through vocational training, case management, substance use treatment, and pretty much on and on. And as I talk about the services we provide, one of the things that I didn't know about Leadership Wilmington when they have the Health and Human Services Day, so we met in the parking lot of Coastal Horizons, and we had these vignettes that we read, and we had to become the people on the vignettes.
Yep, I remember mine.
And so everybody wanted to be my partner because they knew the type of work we do, and I knew the resources. So that made me feel very regarded.
Yeah, and it should.
Because sometimes working with people with criminal histories, we sometimes feel dismissed.
Sure.
But that day, I felt regarded. I didn't feel dismissed at all.
Well, and again, it's that other getting people outside their box or their world, and so that they see that somebody who does that work is a real person.
Yes.
And they bring a tremendous value to a community. And I think it's about, we've talked with another group on a podcast about our middle school leadership development program that we've launched this year. And in that, making sure that we're helping seventh graders realize all the jobs that are available in our community. And many of us probably wake up every day and not realize some of the really unique kinds of jobs you can have in our community. And so I see no need for embarrassment. So so before we forget, though, I'm going to ask Laura to talk a little bit about what we did last week at our alumni mixer that followed this new class's orientation session.
Yeah, so first we welcomed all of the class of 2023 for orientation, where I had to put on my teacher hat and talk about the rules for the retreat. Did you have a retreat?
I did.
Okay.
Y'all follow the rules?
I did. I don't know about the rest of my classmates.
My class didn't invite me. They were afraid the CEO of the chamber wouldn't let them break any rules. They didn't invite me to play.
Yeah, and my class didn't have a retreat because it was kind of in the middle of COVID. So our retreat was on the chamber lawn during the day, 6 feet apart. So going to that retreat last year as running the program was quite an experience. So so after that, we had an alumni networking reception where they could meet the current class, and it was interesting. I'm so nervous. I got to share a room, and hearing the recent graduates talk about don't be nervous, be open, be ready to just absorb it all in. We recognized Rob High as the class member of the year. For last year, Rob High was voted the winner from his peers in his class.
Rob is with Cape Fear Commercial, and he's a young, new professional in our town, a native also.
Oh, wow.
And so it was fun to watch Rob throughout the year really grow and expand his horizons as a native Wilmingtonian, but then also to show him really step up as one of the younger members in the class last year as a leader who then got recognized.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was so cool.
Yeah, he was the chair of the logistics committee, and that's a tough one. With Work on Wilmington, I signed up for celebrations so I wouldn't have to do logistics, but I am so thankful for the skill set, right, of those 36 in the class this year, and excited to see them all come together and pull it off. Just glad it wasn't me. But we also had the opportunity to recognize our Karl Davis Alumnus of the Year, and it just so happened that it was you.
Oh, wow.
So we are so excited
and
to.
I wasn't there.
You were unable to be there, but I'm really excited.
Thank you so much.
I hope you saw the video that was recorded on Facebook Live or something.
I did. I haven't seen it yet.
We'll get it to you.
But so to just remind our viewers what the Karl Davis Alumni Award is, it's in recognition of Karl Davis, who was at WECT
General manager.
General manager, and he just was a beloved citizen and really looked up to, and who has passed away. And this was the Wilmington Chamber and the Leadership Wilmington Program's way of really reminding folks what does a good leader look like, and it is somebody like you, Frankie.
Well, thank you.
It's somebody who is committed to their community, who has a great work ethic, and really seeks out partnerships to be successful and lifts other people up. And you certainly do that. And we were thrilled when we got the nominations in and saw that somebody wanted to nominate you, and thrilled with making that recognition. So thank
praise
you.
Him from whom all blessings flow.
Amen.
I had no idea really when I looked at a text or an email. I say, wow. And I'm not even there.
Well, we know that you had gotten called out of town. Our hope was that we were going to surprise you in the room.
You would have surprised me.
Well, good.
Well, you did surprise me. I just wasn't in the room.
I know. Well, good. It is. It's fun. It's hard to surprise some of you who don't come to that event every year.
Right.
But it's a lot of fun when we are able to pull off the surprise. And so thank you again, Frankie, not only again for what you do with LINC and some of the things that you do in the community, but for your heart, because I see it every time I get to be around you and to hear you talk about not only what you do, but how much you love Wilmington. You have such a servant heart, and it's a joy to work around and with you.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for making me feel regarded. I appreciate that.
Oh, you are very welcome.
Yes.
You are very welcome. All right. So, any funny stories from your Leadership Wilmington experience?
Let me see. It was probably the retreat. You know, you might don't go back and look at who the class was for 2008, but
now I'm so curious.
We was sitting there, we was talking. I think it was might have been the following morning after that Friday night. Whenever it was,
right,
and everybody looked out of it was struggling to get to the class on time, and so they said, "Well, man, I drunk a little bit too much." I said, "Well, man, where was y'all drink? Where did y'all get the drink from?" He said, "Man, you might not want to go back in so and so room and look in that bathtub because it's." So I said, "Boy, I am so glad I stayed in went to sleep." So I didn't participate.
But you enjoyed the aftermath, right?
It was, it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Laura, do you have a funny moment from your experience?
I was not shy to vocalize or ask questions about things that just didn't make sense to me. I felt comfortable. So it's not funny, but I think everybody else around me thought it was funny. That they're like, "Oh, let's see what Laura's going to have to say today." But
we still do that around the chamber building too.
I mean, you have this opportunity to be one of the small group of people to be in the room with, the superintendent, with the police chief,
yes.
And it's like if you don't take advantage of that opportunity to say, well, why is that? Or how can I help? Or what do you need from us as leaders? Then we're not really taking advantage. But I think hearing the snickers when it was like, does anybody have any questions? And everybody's like, Laura does. Was probably my most memorable.
That's a great one. That's a great one. Well, so I hope that our viewers see what a great experience. I think any leadership development program is, but we put through Laura's efforts, a lot of work into and intentionality into making Leadership Wilmington a great place to learn about Wilmington, and even Wilmington natives learn a lot, into your own professional development. And we've added some things to that portion of the program. Frankie, since you went, Laura's done a phenomenal job with that. But then also the relationships, that there are people that Frankie can go have coffee or lunch with who were in his class, and they can reminisce about the program and still work to move our community forward. So we encourage you. The new classes kicking off, or actually did last week. Their retreats at the end of the month. Applications will be available again next spring, so you can apply for one of the 36 seats in next year's class. Or if you can't wait, you can drink from a fire hose. We're launching what we're calling Encounter Wilmington, which is a day-and-a-half program where you learn almost everything you learn in Leadership Wilmington, but it'll be really high level, but especially geared to people who are new to our community, who may have no idea what they've stepped into in our community. So we can give them sort of a high level view. We'll host one in October and one in April. Those applications for October are on our website. We encourage you to apply for that. And just stay tuned for what other development programs we may come up with, because Laura and I are all about creating programs that, again, to the Chamber's mission, will help cultivate people and business growth and, again, our economy. So, Frankie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for all you do for this community and the people that you touch so individually. And thank you all for listening. If you have any interest in our leadership programs or in the Chamber in particular and would like to invest in our work, feel free to visit our website or give any of us a call at the Wilmington Chamber. Thanks and have a great day.